we can, I think a lot of people joined, so we can start the call now. Just like to give a thank you to Nemarius and XRdoge TV for recording these chats every week. It means a lot to us, so that anybody that misses the call can listen back on it. And it's also there for historical record as well. And so I'm sure if you guys are aware that today we had a really special announcement that Anndy Lian has came out publicly as an investor in XRdoge, and we're really excited about that. Because he's I guess the first like mainstream sort of institutional investor to be a part of the project, and that's a really good thing for us because moving forward, if when we try to reach out to more institutions, they'll see that he's a part of the team, and that'd be a good sign for them to join us as well. So we're really happy for that. And he has a really big background in cryptocurrency, so using his connections, we can definitely branch out to wider markets and more specifically Asian markets, because his connections to various media outlets. So we're really happy about that.
Yeah, and I think it's worth saying as well at the beginning that one of the reasons that Andy noticed XRdoge, and he talks about that in the interview, is the community. So he very much wanted to be part of a coin and a project that he felt had not just strong founders, but also a strong community. And he's been very much in the background, having a look, seeing what's going on, looking at chats and forums and how the community shields and how the community shares and supports each other. And very much what he said is that it was the community that attracted him to XRdoge, and then also the focus and the vision that the three founders have. So that's a real compliment to everybody who is part of XRdoge. And he talks about the vision of the founders a lot, and he very much supports it. And I know it's sometimes tricky because we know a lot more of what's going on as we're all part of the meetings and we form the strategy. But I think the fact that Andy has seen that and he has an insight into the project and then has chosen to publicly come out as an investor is a real endorsement. And as SG said, it's going to bring a huge amount to the project. And a lot of people's first comments were, well, will it impact on the price? Which we know is kind of the go-to question, don't we? But I think what we've always been very clear is that we're a long-term project. It's about long-term gains. And at the moment, a lot of it is influenced by the market. And so our focus is building a firm foundation for when that market changes. And what Andy will do is open up a lot of doors, which is fantastic, and also guide us with his experience. Crypto Advisor 2021 from the Blockchain Awards, huge achievement, absolutely. And it shows, again, his experience and what he's able to bring to projects. So that's massive. And also, an advisor to major corporations and governments. And it is definitely worth, the interview's worth a read. It's very in-depth, it's very open and honest, which is, again, what we like on Team XRdoge, and goes into lots of detail, again, with his links. So lots of people, I think, have started to follow him on Twitter. Is that right, SG? Have you seen some action on Twitter? People's reaction?
Yeah, he's been growing a lot recently. Oh, it was a big echo there. Yeah, he's been going a lot recently, so that's always nice to see. Talking about the XRP ledger, I think the stats show that the total market cap for the ledger is around 760 million. So just to give it a perspective, that's pretty small. Like, given crypto's total market cap is like I think around 2 trillion right now. So we know how big XRP is, and the ledger is still fairly new. So what our goal is, we're here for the long term. So we want to build utility, build connections, and watch this project grow into something amazing in the future.
absolutely. And what another question people often ask is about when we're going on, new exchanges, all that sort of thing. If you think about we're 3 months old, all that sort of thing takes time, but it's not. That doesn't mean it's not part of the long-term plan and the strategy. And Andy's an ideal person, again, to support with that and to add some add guidance. I've just put in the chat there a link. So lots of you may have seen Andy's Twitter status from today about how he's one of the leading speakers at the first Korea Blockchain Conference. And that's just to give people an idea of the kind of circles that Andy is in and the connections that he has and how active he is in crypto. And I think that's the key thing. He's a really active member, so he knows about changes. He's up to date, and he has lots of fabulous ideas that we've already discussed. He's very much a supporter of our podcast, which we are going to be launching, and that is going to be on the XRdoge YouTube. It will be there, but also Andy has those connections where we can ensure that it gets views beyond, and that's what we need to be doing. We need to be spreading the word of XRdoge so that people know about us and want to come and join us. So definitely worth a read, the interview. We've got a press release going out across Asia and again across UK and Europe. So look out for us again in places like Yahoo Finance, and that should be released either this evening or early tomorrow. So it's about that marketing, and what's important when we do our marketing and our press releases, that we're not just saying this is XRdoge, we're actually spreading news, and that's what we wanted to do. So I think this is going to catch a lot of people's attention, which is great, and just if sharing that investment that Andy has and that faith in the community and in the project is great. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, SG.
No, I think you summarized it really well. He's active in the whole crypto space. He has a lot of connections that, he has, connections that he's connected with us to sound redundant, but
yeah.
And so,
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's, he's a really great dad on our team. And, it's just kind of, like you said, it's 3 months in, it's, our first major institutional sort of investor, somebody that's, involved in government panels and just other blockchain spaces. So, we're really excited to have somebody like that on our team.
Yeah, absolutely. So there we are. So Anndy Lian, and he is going to do some questions. He's going to be a guest on one of the podcasts, which is great. So we are going to interview him, and that will give you guys, as well as the community, to get a chance to know a bit more what he's about from him personally, which I think will be really useful. And he'll talk about his background and again his vision for XRdoge, and he has he's really ambitious, which is great. He's ambitious about meme coins in general and how they should be taken more seriously and the potential that they have. But obviously he's got specific ambitions for XRdoge, which are very exciting. And as and when those start to become more finalized, you will be the first that we will share that with. So when he's on the podcast, we will let you know, and we should have some final details about that hopefully Monday. So the podcast is going to be, the idea is for it to be weekly, and it's going to be myself with Alex and then Emma. So if you read the interview with Andy, the journalist is a lady called Emma. She's a crypto journalist. She's very experienced, and she brings a wealth of knowledge about crypto and her understanding of it. So she's going to be part of that podcast team as well, and also she will have connections. So it's about continuing to spread the word of XRdoge. So that's something that we are really excited about. I've just been monitoring as well the chat for the last few days or so, and I see we've got some new people in the chat today, which is great. We've had a few questions about our partnership with Ecologi, and I was hoping Alex would just be able to just give a brief overview and a reminder of the strengths that partnership is going to bring to XRdoge. We are in other talks as well, but we're not at the stage yet we can announce that, but we are in talks with more companies and different partnerships. Is that okay, Alex?
That's very much okay. Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. So yeah, Ecologi are our first ever partner for the XR589 project, which is, as you may have seen on Twitter, is our hardware blockchain integrated project, which is going to allow businesses and households to measure the carbon footprint of their either building or house, and in real time send XRdoge to offset that. And so we've added Ecologi as our first partner for that. So the XRdoge will end up with them, and they have carbon offsetting projects like tree planting, and a rotation of 2 different projects every month that are focusing on carbon capture, carbon removal, and helping the planet in various ways.
So if someone was to say to you, Alex, how will that benefit XRdoge, what would you say?
I would say, first off, it's going to bring us to a whole new audience, because they obviously have a good reach with the everyday person who's interested in offsetting their own carbon, who might not know anything about crypto, and so they're going to be the first crypto that they come across through Ecologi. So it's going to open us up to that, and I'd like to think it shows that we're legitimate with this project. We're not just talk. We've been forming partnerships. We're looking to form more and more, and we're actually getting the infrastructure in place for this.
It's a great answer.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. And that is really important. I think we're trying to broaden our horizon, and as I say, get the name out there, whilst also using XRdoge to give back. So really important. Thank you. So I've put in the chat, if anyone's got any questions, that please do type, or if anybody wants to go on the mic. We had some great chatting before we started, which was nice to hear. Questions, suggestions. This is absolutely your opportunity. I know not everyone likes to speak, but do feel free to DM me or put them in the chat.
Can I ask a question? I'm a new investor with XRdoge. I just want to ask, what makes XRdoge so good?
I think Stephanie should answer that. Are you there, Stephanie?
What makes XRdoge so good? XRdoge has this payment portal that's on the XRPL that, to me, is just fabulous. I have not yet integrated it because I'm not smart enough to, but I'm learning. And there's just the best community. The developers are very interactive with everybody. The founders are very interactive with everybody. And it's got this cute little meme dog. I can think of a bunch of things. What about you, Alex? Do you have any answers?
Or anyone else? Why did you choose to invest? Why are you still here? What would you say to a first-time investor like Mr. Raymond there?
Well, one more thing for me is I've learned a lot from you all. Everybody in this community is very giving with knowledge, and they'll help you along the way. If you have questions or you're confused, there's always somebody that can help you find the answer, even if they don't know it.
Thank you, Stephanie. And for me, I think, it's very much the same as what attracted Andy. It's the community, and also the fact that we're showing that a meme coin can be more than that while sticking to the roots, because there's a great thing, I think, a meme coin. We need a bit more fun and silliness in the world. So it brings that fun factor, but also the utility that makes it stand out. We've got a couple of good questions there in the chat. There's one about the front end of the deck. So obviously the trading view has now changed, which is great. They are just doing some final tweaks. Our devs are very particular. They don't like to put anything out until they're 100% happy. So it should be end of this week, Monday at the latest. We had a meeting yesterday, and there was just a couple of things that we wanted them to add and potentially offer for new listings as well, new coins that get listed. So we've just added something, an extra request basically that makes our deck stand out. Because somebody put in the chat before that there's talk of other projects releasing their own decks. So what we need to make sure is that why go for ours? What makes ours different and better? So we had a little bit of a redraft and some adding yesterday. So there we go. It's cool. Good question about the advertising. So thank you to those people who sent us video footage and photos. I loved the comments from some people that was photoshopped. Honestly, if you saw my photoshopping skills, you would know it was not. I nearly had to send my 96-year-old grandma down to get some footage, but thankfully somebody got some for me. It was real, it was there, it was very exciting. We have got plans for another one to go up, start again, it will be in London. We're just timing it, it's about that strategy as well. So it's just a few tweaks on the timing, but it will go. And it is expensive, but it's definitely worth it because we've got to spread the XRdoge, the word of XRdoge, without doubt. I think was there another couple of questions? So that was the advertising. And again, we're in talks with gaining some advice from Andy of what that might look like. And everyone's got an opinion on advertising, which is great. But we do work with different marketing agencies, and it's about finding something that sticks in people's minds, but also gets people to engage with the advertising, which can be tricky. We've had some really good suggestions from community members, how to use QR codes and all that sort of thing, which always helps. We do take your suggestions. We can't always do them, but we definitely discuss them. So we do thank you. When new listings? I love that question. When new listings? SG, when new listings?
So we've been talking to a couple different exchanges recently, but as of right now, I can't say too much. I'll just leave it at that. Cliffhanger.
We like a cliffhanger. When will the XR589 be released to the public? Oh, and what about Mr. Iggy? You going to answer that one? His Wi-Fi's cut
Hey,
out.
hello. Well, sorry, I know itself, so my internet connection's not the best. I'm going from 3G to 4G, but yeah, I mean, it's in development. I'm going to have like a bench prototype thing done in the next week or two, and I'll film that and I'll put it on the, all the things. And then probably we're going to have to develop it professionally, I guess, and get a final circuit board and whatnot. So, not imminent, but not probably the end of in Q2 at some point, I would say. We'll have something.
Thanks.
Yeah, we're excited for that.
And making sure it's quality, that's what we need to do. Thank you.
So we got another question here. As an investor, Anndy Lian wants to maximize his investment. Did he invest to the project itself, or is he leading also in which direction we are going? So I'd say here that he has invested in the project itself, and I wouldn't say that he's necessarily leading the direction, but we kind of use him as a consultant for asking questions and connecting us to different people within the industry.
Yeah, that's absolutely. And And he's, as I say, it's very exciting, and I know lots of the community have already started following him on Twitter, and retweeting any tweets that he tags XRdoge in is really useful as well, because he's got a wide and broad reach on his Twitter profile. So that's something that everyone in the community can support with. And there's a great comment there. I like that one about everyone can do their little bit to promote the coin, and we very much appreciate the community and the lots of active members who do that, and we see all their fabulous artwork and their comments and their activity on social media.
And then I got another question from El Ripple. Do we have collab with streamers and using XRdoge as a tipping coin to them? Currently we do not, but that's something we're looking at, and we're just kind of talking to people, seeing it could be a good fit for us.
Yeah, and I think the good...
Go ahead.
Sorry, Stephanie.
I was going to say, can't we tip in XRdoge on the XR wallet through Twitter?
Yeah, I think El Ripple is talking about like something like what's a big platform like Twitch or maybe even like YouTube.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I think tipping with XM is that is currently available.
Now, SG, I've got the perfect job for you here. Someone sent me a DM, so I won't mention who it was, but we've talked about this before, haven't we? Can we maybe get some individuals at the Super Bowl with XRdoge posters or to streak? Now, I cannot endorse anything or suggest anything that is not illegal, I should say. But yeah, we have joked about that, haven't we, SG? And I thought SG should do it, but he wasn't very keen.
Yeah, getting dragged off the field and then going to a cold. They don't got any s'mores and marshmallows in the cells, so I might have to pass on that.
You just have to make sure you hide your Ledger wallet in a personal space.
But posters and things at events, if you're going to, you're going to events, people like to go to protests or whatever you're into, absolutely XRdoge posters are a great way to go. I have seen a few in the rare news items that I look at, not of XRdoge, but of XRP, and they usually get quite a lot of good attention. And that's community, the community can do things, but I can't advise because I'll get in trouble. So you do it at your own risk. Make banners and sell them in the store for people to take to big events. I like that suggestion. I wanted to make those foam fingers with XRdoge, but Moonboy told me that was just me showing my age, and apparently people don't use those anymore. But I was quite fun. But there we go. Absolutely, we could, because it would be great for people to be able to do that and support that. Those are the ones I like. The old school gladiator foam fingers. That's what I wanted, and Moonboy laughed at me. Maybe I'll just get one myself. I'm off to an event, you'll see me. I do have an XRdoge dress, which is being made, which is on its way. For when I do my talking about my book, I go to different news places and talk about it. So I've got an XRdoge frock on the way. So any other questions? Let's have a look. Ooh. And I have actually ordered some car stickers. That's another great suggestion, some car stickers. Because at the moment we give out free pens with orders from the shop, but we are upgrading to car stickers, to bumper stickers. So people can put those on the back of their car. We might chuck in a few for bigger orders, and you can hand them out to your family. I think that's a great idea.
So we're getting a lot of questions about BitBoy. Has he got his merch yet? Do you have any updates on that, Victoria?
We have a tracking, actually. Hold on a second. I have a tracking number for it. So I would be able to tell you exactly where the package is. And I should have had that. Apologies for not having that in advance. Let me just have a look. Any other questions, SG, you could take, and I will get that tracking up now.
So I got another one here. Wouldn't it be a good idea to make Pancake Uniswap out of the XRdoge DEX? Well, I mean, the thing with Pancake and Uniswap, with those are built on smart contract platforms, and currently the XRP ledger does not support that. But looking at stuff like Songbird and Flare, looking forward, that's something we would like to get into. And, okay, let me see. L Ripple had one. Do we have BTC XRdoge, ETH XRdoge? No, we do not, but we could look at importing Gate USD and BTC USD onto the DEX. And then Phil Jackson. Oh, sorry. You go.
So this is not. I have to obviously post it, not with the with the address, but I kid you not. So I've just done the tracking. It says your item was delivered at 10:40 a.m. on Friday, the 10th of February. So that's today.
That's today.
That is today, and I'll put it in the chat. I just have to edit it, so I have obviously not got any. I'm not breaking any data rules. So I will put that in the chat as proof. But according to the tracking system that I am following, the USPS tracker, it was delivered at 10:40 a.m. today. So there we go. Exciting. And I'll have a look, because I think if that was delivered, then we also had some going to Jeremy Hogan and Charles Gasparino.
What did you send? Like hats, beanies? I mean, what did you send?
No, we had a special. Let me show you. It was, I think, because it's from our good friend Tyler Boone, who makes the most amazing merchandise. There's a link to him on our page. And I will just get his, because some was specially made for, I've just gone, sorry, I went on a random Tyler Boone. Was about to get some more followers from XRdoge. Do you want to take another question, SG, and I will find the picture?
Yeah, I think we got one for Raymond here. Regarding the XR589, could it be used to pay off energy bills with XRdoge?
Yeah, theoretically, yeah, it could, absolutely. I mean, there's a few like open source projects out there where basically they link the power consumption and the same principle we're going to be using to a smart meter type device. For the purposes of basically, for paying your energy bill or whatever. But so yeah, that's definitely a potential application in the future.
Awesome, thanks for answering that question. We got another question from just some dude. Has the team considered bringing an XRdoge dedicated ambassador on board to be the public face and voice needed presence in social media spaces? Well, I'd say right now, we try to do our best by, monitoring Telegram, Discord, Twitter, answering as many questions as possible, hosting these chats to give you guys updates and, sit like we're doing now and answer questions. So that's something we could look at.
I think Alex and Vicky are going to step up to that right now anyway.
You could say they're actually doing it right now, there's no stepping up. So,
yeah,
I just kind of explain our system that we have going on right now.
I'm mute. I was talking to myself. There we go. So there is the picture. So this all didn't go to BitBoy. It was between the three guys. And there's a range there. But they all got their XRdoge. You see the little at the bottom, so you can see the logo. And they are they're great value for money, really high quality. And we're very grateful to have Tyler as part of our community and supporting XRP and then obviously also XRdoge. So we communicate with Tyler. He's very talented and We thank him, and he came on one of these chats to talk about it. So people do get in contact. We've got our friend making the glasses at a more reasonable rate, which again is fantastic, and it just shows you what the community is about. So we support that absolutely. So those have been delivered, which is very exciting. So we will have to watch out.
So we got time for a couple more questions until we wrap things up. So if anybody has any questions they want to ask, let's do it now. So we got one from Phil Jackson. We are saying that the XRdoge is a meme coin with utility. Where can people use XRdoge? Well, you can use it at the shop. What else can we do with XR? I mean, we're building the XR589, so theoretically you could pay your energy bill with XRdoge. We're building a DEX. Yep, you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was something that Andy talked about quite passionately as well in his interview, where he said that he thought that the institutions should start looking at meme coins and they should take them more seriously. So Shiba Inu, for example, have just announced they're opening their own restaurant. And look at how meme coins could be added to portfolios and used more than just online, actually put them out into the real world. So there's definitely, it's a long way off, but there's definitely opportunities for XRdoge.
It's a long way off, but we're working as hard as we can right now to build the foundations right now. Shiba Inu didn't reach what it did in 3 months, so you have to understand that we're doing as much as we can right now to build the infrastructure to make all those things possible.
And a last good question from Craig there, SG. Is there a specific single objective you'd want to achieve in 2022? What would be your if you could choose one thing by the end of the year?
If there's one thing for me, that we just get widespread mainstream exposure through big media outlets, somebody from CNN or Fox News or what else is there, BBC, any of these guys, I'd like to see them talking about us a little bit. That would be a really big achievement for us. We get published on wider mainstream outlets.
Yeah, I think the day you turn on your news and XRdoge is mentioned, it will be a very special day, and it's definitely something we work towards, and big mainstream podcasts and things. So we are continuing to do that and work away behind the scenes and communicate with you guys as much as possible. But we say it each week, and we do appreciate very much the support. And we know sometimes the chat can get a little bit down, especially at this time when the market's as it is, and that happens. But we all have that responsibility to spread hope and spread kind of a little bit more kindness, which is really important. And we continue to do that and support projects as well, other projects. And we thank you all very much for your continued support. So yeah, exciting day today. Exciting day. In sum up, we are very privileged and very honoured that Andy has chosen to be an investor in XRdoge, and very excited about what that will bring in the near and distant future as well. And we know that you guys will all welcome him as well. So we thank you. Don't we, SG? It's exciting times.
Very exciting times, we're really happy we got Andy on board. We have the DEX updates coming soon. We just have a partnership with Ecologi. Some people are asking about the lawsuit, the Ripple lawsuit and debit card. We kind of just have to wait to see what the courts say. Hopefully, I think everybody here is pretty optimistic that Ripple are going to win the case. So if that does happen, expect some cool stuff to come out after that.
I'm just there's some fixation on this streaker idea, so I'll leave that to the community to organise. Yeah, and that's what I love about this community is that the suggestions are very varied, and they definitely make me more smile than cry. So I thank you for that. Okay, and thank you, Iggy, for dropping in and sharing your wisdom, which is always very much appreciated. And Alex, who's working also very hard behind the scenes, we thank you. And Stephanie, you got to kick off every chat.
Yes,
You set a nice vibe for us all.
Well, thank you. That makes me feel good.
She has that southern hospitality. You know,
Yeah, I can be pretty. I can get static charged too, but I'll try to stay calm. I did want to say, if you guys don't mind, to the community, over on the Discord they have a special ops section. I mean, if you guys have anything that you're good at to contribute to the XRdoge, I'm sure everybody would appreciate help instead of, or along the way.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I didn't know if people knew that that was over there.
Yeah, we have a member, Paranormal, who's working on the XRdoge game. It's currently on Android only right now, but it's still exciting to see.
I went and looked at it a little bit. I didn't have an Android, but the theme is really cute, really cool. Lying elephants and whales, and it's a good theme.
I love it. I love it.
And that's our community. That's what we love. That varied, lots of different talent. And don't be shy if you've got an idea, a suggestion, or a talent you think could be shared. Just go ahead and do it. What's the worst that could happen? Is what I say.
LQ can carry up.
Will Andy also post? He is an investor now. I'm assuming so. He will tags us in his Twitter posts and what have you. He's coming on the podcast as a guest, and that will kind of his role will start to very much evolve. So, and our mentions will increase. And as we said earlier, he's got a broad reach and lots of influence. That's great. When podcast. We've got a meeting on Monday, and then we hopefully will start late next week. That's Alex's department. He's just hoping to finalize our first very special guest, soon to be announced once we have confirmation.
I was hoping it was Moonboy.
He will come on. He has reassured me.
Okay.
Moonboy will do some Q&A on the podcast. He has given me his word, so they're a new decks as we've got some new listeners, but again that will be either late this week or early next week. We just had a redraft yesterday when we wanted to add an extra dynamic to it to make sure that it's better than the rest. There we go. Right, well, thank you everyone for your time.
Well, thank you guys for everything you do. We love you. Good night or good day.